Several years ago, I wanted to ask Albina, who's not with us here today, I wanted to ask her a question. I was a little bit nervous about asking it. Why was I nervous? I was nervous a little bit because it showed a vulnerability that I had. I showed a kind of a fear. I was afraid that she wouldn't understand. But I thought she probably felt the same way or experienced the same thing, so I decided to ask. I asked her this question. I asked her, how often do you feel lonely? Notice how I asked the question. I didn't ask her if she ever feels lonely. I just asked how often, assuming that everyone felt lonely at times. Do you know what her answer was? Her answer didn't make me feel closer to her. Her answer was, why? She looked at me kind of strangely. It's like, I never feel lonely. I'm not sure if it hurt, but that was strange for me. I learned that we're different. I didn't actually even totally believe her at first. But it was strange because especially at that time I felt lonely quite often. In our house, it was in our apartment at the time, it was a strange scene. It was an interesting scene. It was always full of people, always full of noise. I forget exactly what it was, but we had probably 4 or maybe 6 small children. Albina was always busy with the kids. The house was always full of noise, most of it just fun kids running around. Always needed help. I think why I felt lonely at the time was because at home there's always something that needed to be done. There was always that noise, but there was never anybody really that had time to ask how I was doing, or ask or listen to what was going on in my mind. I still feel lonely at times today, but not as often. I think I go through different cycles in life. Albina, I'm not sure what she'd say today, but then it kind of surprised me. I didn't think she was telling me quite the truth. How could she never feel lonely? But we're all different. The following series of videos are probably for those more of you that feel a little bit like me, that feel lonely occasionally, or even often. Survey says, research shows that that's lots of us out there. So we encourage you to kind of tune in for the next few weeks. Ask a friend if they'd be interested in. Does your friend ever feel lonely? Well, I encourage you to ask them. Ask them the question I asked Albina. Do you ever feel lonely? How often do you ever feel lonely? So we look forward to talking about a topic that's a little bit difficult. We'll think about why we feel lonely. We'll think about the purpose of loneliness and what we can actually get from it. So we look forward to the time with you. Thanks.